the value proposition for your token.
From an investor's perspective, what's the value proposition for your token?
Sorry, could you just repeat that?
How does the investor make money with your token?
Okay, so in the AI crypto network, you will get reward by data providing, or you can use the data by paying the AIC token. Does that answer your question?
Not quite. How much money would I make and when?
How much we are? Oh, the hot cap, 30,000.
No. As an investor, I buy your token.
Yeah.
I purchase your token. I make how much money and when?
1 Ethereum equals 100,000 AIC coins, and the coin will be released by end of June.
Okay, thank you.
Same question. What's the investor return for the token?
Yeah, so the question is, what is the investor return for the token? So we have a public blockchain, okay, as well as the B2B portion, which allows companies to launch their own chains. But the public blockchain side is for companies or app developers who can launch their own cryptocurrencies, and we take fees in the cash token for creating cryptocurrencies, creating domains, and so we're also onboarding companies to use the token, and so our business model is actually focusing on adoptance of the token into companies and businesses, which we feel will add value to the token itself for those who hold it.
Just quickly, I asked you how much the investor would make buying your token.
Say that again?
What would an investor make by buying your token?
What would an investor make by buying the token?
I give you money for a reason, hopefully to make more money. How much money will I make and how will I make it?
If you are a purchaser of the token.
Investor.
Oh, an investor of the token.
This table, the guys at this table, I'm sorry. The men and women at this table. Women and men at the table.
Yeah, it's a good question. To be honest, we've been selling this token as a money services business, and so we're not necessarily we're not promising securities or returns or anything like that. We're focusing on the business and core business model of the platform, which is why we're also seeking traditional investors.
So why should we buy the token?
You as investors, you might buy the token, you might not buy the token. The token is the utility, especially for the users, more so than anything else.
Thank you. I noticed you compared the cash GDP to notional derivatives, and that's very misleading. So they're not 1.2 quadrillion in cash derivatives. If you're going to compare GDP, you have to compare the cash derivatives. So what's the market on a realistic perspective?
What's going to be the potential of the market of derivatives in the...
No. You compared notional value derivatives to a cash GDP. So you're comparing apples and oranges. So the cash value of derivatives versus GDP would be what?
I will need to come back with this with the
Okay.
number. I don't have this by heart.
That's a glaring error, so I strongly suggest you correct that, okay? Oh, and the investor, what's the investor proposition for the token? How much money would I make if I bought it?
Since we are doing at the moment, we are in a private sale, and at the moment, for various regulation reasons, we cannot answer on the token side of what you are asking.
The investor proposition, the value proposition.
The business, the token model that we're building is a staking model, and I can go very happy. I will be able to go deeper into that with you, but I cannot do that publicly. Thank you.
In 2 years' time, we can actually have an economy around, today $60 million. This economy will be around $300 million in transactions.
And the value proposition of the investor, return on investment?
Using the same logic, we understand that in 2 years' time, this token will be 15x.
Okay. Empirically, though. Empirically, you're guesstimating. Okay. Yeah. You have $100,000 in cash flows. You have a business model that you establish a token economy on. Okay. So the token gets what in return? Outside of capital appreciation. If you're going to use capital appreciation, you have to define it clearly. You're like 65% of the way there, so just go to the last mile.
Yeah, so there are two different things. I think I'm struggling a little bit to explain this. When I'm talking about instant supply as business today, we as a subscription model, and it remains working as a subscription. The token enters in this economy for the supply chain finance and for payment gateway. So actually, the economy of the token will run around more payments and supply chain financing for factoring.
The token serves as a currency or as a key to the gateway, or both?
Both.
Okay. That's it. Same old question. Wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was about to say not being the smartest, and then what's the question going to be?
You should always leave that other thing.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, I excluded the slide highlighting how all the networks and protocol claiming that they're going to be fast and secure are growing in price and capitalization. So, assuming that I've applied all the legal disclaimers saying that it's not guaranteed and blah blah blah, we firmly believe that by the end of this year, our capitalization will grow x5 comparing to the round days that we are launching computers. If we are still conservative enough, I think it's going to be x10 in the course of the next year.
Yeah, but put some empirical data behind that. Exactly why?
Because people are going to use our technology because the technology is better than any other technology out there.
Go ahead, they will come.
We are sure. That's why we actually want to use a lot of from-day money, because having the best technology nowadays is not enough, honestly, because it's hard to compete with guys like you who are saying we are tossing out $600 million for our developers funds, right? So we also need to be proactive in order to recruit the developers. But
Your security token, you filing the Reg D?
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay.
Reg S.
Reg S? Reg S.
Yes, it gets more investors.
So you're going full, so you're going to trade next to Facebook, Google, etc.
I couldn't hear you. I'm
You're
sorry.
going for full regulation trade for retail investors. In other words,
We're U.S. based,
Right.
And our target demographic is United States. So we're completely compliant with the United States. We are direct to accredited investors. We're only raising from accredited investors at this time. However, in the future, we may offer a limited.
just so you know, we're not out of time. So since you're a security token, you can answer the basic question I've been asking all day. Okay? What's the financial return on investment for an investor? I'll buy your token now.
What is the plan to reach the investment?
Financial return on investment. How much money do I make when I buy your token now?
What is the ROI? So I explained the economy. I don't have an ROI percentage for you right off the bat.
I can answer.
Yeah, he can answer.
Okay, so I can't represent a return on investment. What I can
Give me the
say-
value
what I-
proposition. I'm not asking for promise.
What are we raising?
Give me your value proposition, right? How much money do I make? The return. What risk do I assume in getting that return? What's the investment horizon? Answer those three questions in 15 seconds.
Can you repeat that question one more time? Those three questions. I'm sorry.
Risk, return, investment horizon.
Okay, risk return investment horizon. Okay, so the risk is you're making investment. I mean, there's risk in any investment you make today. If you're a businessman, entrepreneur, we all made risks. Return, again, I can't represent the specific return. I don't think anyone here can, okay, because that would be a misrepresentation. However, what I can say is we have a plan, an objective, and we're promising investors to meet those objectives with the investments that we're taking in. And the deliverables on that investment is the platforms that we intend on bringing to market that will drive the ecosystem behind the coin. And with that, the valuations of the coin will obviously go up based on the demand of the coin. So,
Okay, what are the valuations of the coin? I mean,
right now we're selling
honestly,
coin.
you're dancing around the
right,
answer.
the coin is valued at 56 cents. We're offering 100% bonus, 56 cents plus in pips. You would be buying into the coin at 28 cents.
Okay, I don't want to be rude and cut you off. I just don't want to run out of time.
No.
Tell me how you came to the valuation. How did you get it 56 cents?
So we came to the valuation based on because we're targeting the globe. We're targeting every country and every educational system in every country. And just in the United States alone, there's 27,000 plus universities and skilled trade schools. So by forming these partnerships, the magnitude of this economy, the magnitude of this.
Okay, let me just say it one at a time. Empirically, back into the valuation number. How did you arrive to it? How did you arrive to that particular 56 cents?
So our goal was to get this coin to open as close to $1 as we could, based on a number of relationships and arrangements foreign company, but we value the coin at 56 cents to meet our
So our team doesn't, if you don't mind me answering partially, we don't have any financial analysts on the team right now. We have designers and visionaries and attorneys. So to answer your question, not that easy, I understand.
So what contribute the appreciation of the token price? Are you sharing the profit, giving a dividend, interest bearing? Can you explain those economics?
For the staking for the early investors for this.
For the security token.
For every investor.
Sorry, for what?
Every investor. Every token owner.
So there's no profit sharing. The coin, there's no profit sharing or equity. The coin is the coin. I think that answers the question. However, we are providing incentives for investors that come in early, I would say, and join our group and support what we're doing. But it is a security token, and the idea behind it is that it will grow in value based on demand for that coin.
Our next competitor is Eric Anderson, CEO of Panther, and he will need just 1 minute to tell about his project.
My name is Eric Anderson, but that's not how the world knows me. They know me as Egypt because I am a hacker. 10 years ago, I broke Blu-ray encryption for fun, no other reason. For the past 5 years, I've spoken at DEF CON, the #1 hacker conference in the world. I've created software that punches holes through the Great Firewall of China for fun. My friends, my closest friends, are the most dangerous and paranoid people you will ever meet. And we enjoy breaking beautiful things for the lulz, for no reason at all. Every piece of software is vulnerable. Every piece of software can be hacked. And blockchains are pieces of software. Blockchains are just decentralized networks. And they all share something in common. They need networking code, security code, and privacy code. Promether, my company, is dedicated to building out an API that addresses this need specifically. Any blockchain can use Promether to be secure, anonymous, and have its privacy protected.
Your business is?
Security.
Okay. Revenue model?
Sorry?
Revenue model?
There's a variety of revenue models. We have an SAS.
The number one major revenue model.
White label to enterprise B2B SaaS.
Okay, how's the token play into the revenue model?
The API is licensable. The API is also usable and by other networks, other dApps, such as Hollow, that recently partnered with us last week and announced they'll be using the Promether API for all of their networking, security, and anonymity code.
How does that play into that? I haven't heard you mention token once. Is this a token presentation or just one of the business?
It's a token presentation. We have our own blockchain.
So you have your own blockchain. Okay, you use the token for?
The token is
economically.
The token is a representation of the utility of the network. The utility of the network guarantees certain capacity, which miners are incentivized to add their network capacity, memory, and other capacities to the network for the good of routing via Tor-like or VPN service, which users benefit from to enable a secure and anonymous privacy network for all, on which dApps can be built.
Okay, so the dApps, you have a privacy network. The dApps are built on top of your blockchain or a native blockchain, and the information goes through your network to the blockchain. Which one is it? I'm just trying to learn.
The blockchain is only used for the financial incentivization and the ledger. The blockchain isn't used for any of the capacity or the forwarding of data. That's used in separate scalable data structures such as distributed hash graphs and hash tables.
So then why use a token, or is it just for fun right now?
Greed is good, Gordon Gekko said. You have to incentivize the miners to contribute their capacity to the network. And the best way to do that is the blockchain, is what's proven out.
Okay, but it sounds like we can use the services without the blockchain, can you?
Only if you license it directly from us. If you don't license it directly from us, then you have to use our ecosystem, and that incentivizes the use of Pyro and increases the value of the coin, which is directly tied to the miner incentivization.
Okay.
Pyro is everything.
Okay, so what safeguards do you have to prevent everybody from just licensing from you fiat directly and abandoning the blockchain? hence depending the value of the token.
Forking the code and re-implementing it is very, very difficult to do. There aren't many.
Before you go on, you don't have to fork the code if I could license directly from you. I could just pay for your services to get the blockchain.
Well, you can license the API if you want, such as Hollow, but it's a strong technical partnership, so it's more than just a license. There's a long-term standing relationship to provide their lower-level ecosystem. I mean, it's really more of, I would call it a strategic partnership.
Okay, so you're open sourced?
We will be a public ICO, yes.
Okay, you have code audits?
Absolutely. Hackers are doing it. Hackers like Grim, which is a kind of a dark web type hacking company that's very well known and is made up of hackers that come from LATOKEN.
The code audits are published?
They will be, absolutely, for good or bad, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry?
How much are you raising?
How much is the coin?
Raising.
Oh, it's a hard cap of 30 million.
How does it compare to Whisper protocol?
Well, the Whisper protocol is a double ratchet algorithm that is a walled garden centralized architecture. We're totally decentralized. There's no centralization. There's no moxy, you can use any sort of cryptographic primitive, such as elliptic curve or RSA, or even symmetric encryption as well. So it's naturally quantum resistant because it doesn't force you into any symmetrical quantum.
Last question. Can you explain? I see your slogan, "End of surveillance." What does that mean?
So the end of surveillance is really threefold. First of all, it's decentralization, fully decentralized. Not centralization that wraps decentralization like we have with exchange models in the current blockchain. Number two, it's encryption. It's end-to-end, at rest, multiple choices. You're empowered to choose your cryptographic primitives. Then number three, it's this idea of anonymity and hiding in plain sight. Anonymity is this idea that you route traffic between n number of nodes to protect your IP address. So it's the concept of privacy that we get with VPNs and Tor today, which is a multi-billion-dollar market all by itself. Hiding in plain sight is hard to do. How do you break through the Great Firewall in China, like the applications that I developed do? You disguise it as other traffic. You disguise it as HTTP. You disguise it as email requests. You encrypt the entire packet so there's no ability to fingerprint any of the data, collect the metadata, and initiate firewall rules on that. And that's why my software today, called Demon Soft, literally you can use it in Beijing. I did it a month ago. So that's how we stop surveillance.
I was on a panel earlier discussing ICOs, and actually not a panel, I was part of the judge of the ICO pitch contest. And I'm a fundamental investor. I'm known for calling the fall of Bear Stearns, the Lehman Brothers, the European debt crisis. I have about 10 years of a strong track record of calling big macro calls and fundamental booms and busts. If you Google my name, Google introducing Reggie Middleton video, you can see a sizzle reel. I was going to do a presentation on the disintermediation of the banking sector, but I thought it'd be more advantageous to do a presentation on how to do a strong ICO pitch from a fundamental investor's perspective, because I asked one question to everybody who presented. Nobody could answer it. The question was very simple. Does anybody know what the question was?
ROI and debt horizon, ROI and something else. Risk.
Return.
Basically, how would I make money? So if I invest in your token, I bought your token, how would I make money? So if you go and you pitch to investors, and you know the investors are there to make money, but you can't tell them how to make money, you invalidate the entire presence. There's really no reason to come. So I wanted to, first I had to get everybody's attention. I wanted to pick two of the companies that caught my attention, even though they didn't answer that question correctly, and I'll walk through an exercise of how to answer that question. Would that be more appetizing, or would you rather me go through disintermediation of the banking sector?
No.
So for disintermediation, raise your hand. For ICO pitch training, raise your hand.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 people. So, the guy from Prometheus, come on up. If I'm not mistaken, I think he won, but I did vote for him. The reason why I voted for him, because he gave a very, very strong impression of credibility. He said he hacked into what, the Chinese what?
Well, I created software that breaks through the Great Firewall of China, and it's called Demon Saw. You can download it; it's open source. I used it last month when I spoke at DEF CON China in Beijing. So it works. I mean, I'm a hacker. I broke Blu-ray encryption, released the first device keys 11 years ago. You can read about my hack on darknetdiaries.com.
Okay, so I'll put you short there. Okay. So basically, he showed me a good story, number one. Okay, got my attention. Credibility, but that credibility has to be fact-checked. Okay, so I haven't done that yet. Then I asked him, "Are you looking for money?"
Yes.
Okay, so I have two things. I have capital, number one, but most of my capital is strategic. I use it for my own particular startup. But my startup is a smart contract-driven investment fund. Basically, about 25 smart contracts linked together through financial engineering that goes out to the market and buys digital assets, and then allows other investors to come, put their capital in, and participate in this purchase. Okay, I undercut everybody by about 95%. Your typical hedge fund or VC fund would charge 2 and 20. I charge a flat 5%. So if the assets double, you're paying roughly 4 times with a venture capitalist or a hedge fund what you pay for our software. And our software doesn't have conflicts of interest. Smart contracts don't need to buy Porsches and Azimut yachts at the end of the year. We don't have bonuses quarterly. So, in doing that, there are 2 ways where I can invest capital into somebody like this man. Through the smart contract, the Vader. Okay, you go to Veritaseum.com, you can play with it yourself, or I'll contribute directly. Both ways require one thing. I have a team of analysts. These are the same analysts that help me predict the fall of Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. They've been with me for over 10 years, the European debt crisis. And we've taken the entire valuation framework and we've directed to digital assets. If you go to Veritaseum.com, you see a video, you see the actual software at work, you can play with it in spectator mode. You can download our research. Our research is about 60 pages each for every platform. 60 pages of real hardcore analysis. Now, we don't look at white papers. Okay, if I see someone offering a white paper and throw it out, it's obviously not serious. I'm sure most of the ICOs here, the first thing they do is write a white paper. A white paper is an academic thesis. It does nothing to show you how the business is run. What I want to hear is a potential addressable market or actual addressable market. Revenue growth, margins, no matter how much money you bring in, how much you get to keep, potential competitors, how do you defeat these competitors, intellectual property that you appear to have, your ability to protect intellectual property, patent protection application, etc. Okay, none of this is found in a white paper. I'll say something that's super controversial. White papers are trash, and anybody who issues a white paper in an attempt to get money is not a sustainable business, right? If they are sustainable, it's pure luck, absolute pure luck. Anybody want to challenge me? We'll do a Q&A, we can talk all day afterwards. So, what was that question that I asked you? And you heard me ask at least 15 companies beforehand. Do you know what the question was?
The question was, how am I going to make money? How am I going to get return on investment?
Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Are there any investors here within the sound of my voice? Raise your hand. Raise it high. Let's see how many investors are here. Okay, keep your hand in the air for a minute. Raise your hand high. Come on, come on. Which one of y'all do not want to make money? Put your hand down. So none of you want to make money. So that's the problem. It's a West Coast thing. Okay. On the East Coast, investors really want to make money. So when I asked you that question, what did you say?
I said we can, a variety of strategies. We can license an API, but the best way to make money, is a B2B, a software as a service strategy. Enterprises have a lot of money. They pay a lot of money every year for security solutions that don't work. Why do they not work? Because we keep seeing...
Okay, so you already know that I favored this guy from having a good story and credibility. I asked him how I could make money. Okay, he's already been past my attention span, and he started telling the story. So I'm going to be critical of you. Okay? Take the mic, ask me the question.
How am I going to make money?
You're going to make money through capital gains. You're going to make money through potentially an income stream. Okay? Depending on whether you're a capital gains investor or an income stream investor, you will probably get your first return, hopefully within a 1 to 5 year investment horizon. Right? Not a guarantee. Right? This is how we project it. From an income stream perspective, you'll do it between a 2 and 7 year horizon. Okay, there's risk attached to each and every one of them. From an income stream, you have duration risk. From capital gains, you have competition and regulatory risk. Now, try it again. Well, first of all, does everybody understand what I just said?
Yes.
If you don't understand, I want to make sure everybody understands. I'm loud enough where I don't need a mic. Raise your hand if you do not understand. Okay. Come, catch. Is that 2 minutes? 2? Okay. The other guy's an hour and a half, so I'm not going to say that. Okay. Why don't you understand? What is he doing today? Yeah, 30 seconds.
Because there's a whole host of languages I'm not familiar with as far as you pitch the business. I felt that you were confident, but I didn't feel the details.
So, capital gains. Okay? Capital gains means you buy something for $10, you want it to go up to 20. I sell him for that token for $10. Give it back to me, right? I get it back for $20, $10 capital gain. Definitive way of making money. Okay, I didn't tell you the story behind it yet, but I don't have time because I have 30 seconds. If I tell the story, I capture your attention, now I get the opportunity to backfill and say how those capital gains are made. Income, right? I give you that token for $5, I'm going to charge you 10% per month. Throw it back. 12 months later, I get 120% plus this token. That's income. A definitive way of making money. As an investor in an ICO or anything else, that's how you make money. Now, I was talking to Total. I love Total. Total is one of the best presentations, but they said that they're not going for tokens. Instead, they said they want to go for a Series A. I'm going to tell Total they're confused. Okay? A Series A means that you're going to give what? Here. You're going to give a token. That token is going to represent preferred equity. Okay? Give it back. For preferred equity, someone's going to give you money, they're going to expect a return. Guess what that's called in the digital asset world? An ICO. Or a preferred stock offer. Or a common stock offer. See, people are confusing the terminology. Because we're using a digital blockchain, distributed platform, the blockchain, we use the term ICO, they think this is different from any other transaction. So, Total Series A is the same as that guy's C, it's the same as this guy's potential IPO. If it's going through the blockchain, it's simply a transaction done through the blockchain for compensation. If you can, I can articulate this clearly because this is my field. I'm well versed in finance, I'm very good at technology. Everybody should find somebody on your team that can do it. If you don't have a finance guy on your team, you're looking to go get capital, that's like trying to write an advanced protocol application with no developers. Okay, and you're going to have exactly that much success. Unless you have a bunch of suckers, basically. Over time, right, suckers are diminished because they run out of money. Then you have actual professional investors. Guess what they want to see? Actual financials with a good story. It doesn't even mean you're going to make the money, but just to tell the story. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to do a proper pitch, and then I want you to come see me in New York, and we'll discuss on getting you capital. And if I'm not mistaken, he wanted smart money. Okay, not just financial money. Explain to them what you're looking for.
I'm looking for not only capital, but I'm looking for smart capital, which is strategic capital, which means I want a partnership. I want a partnership. I want a long-term partnership where my investor brings something beyond money. What is that? That is relationships, experience, that is relationships with exchanges, that is marketing, that is press, that is help with the roadshow, that is introductions to other investors, etc.
So, what I would offer you, everybody here, Google introducing Reggie Middleton video. Okay, you get to see who I am, you get to see my track record. We have applied for a broker-dealer, right, in the United States. Hopefully, we'll be the first digital asset company to get a broker-dealer license using our own very, very heavy form of fundamental analysis. Go to Veritaseum.com, take a look at our research. That level of research applies to your company, you put the right financials, the right story, makes you heads and tails above practically everything that's available right now. Silicon Valley to the East Coast. Okay, 10 more minutes. Okay, in addition, I know how to tell the story. I'll teach you how to tell the story. You put the right people on your team. You have a finance guy on your team? You have a marketing guy on your team? Okay, so there you go. Did I do a good job?
Yeah!
Okay, I need another hour.
We got it.